Hello, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Nhung from Hanoi, and now the top stories as usual.
State budget collection almost reached yearly target. Solutions needed to remove bottlenecks in real estate market. And later on, night tours to historic sites appealing to tourists in Hanoi.
Vietnam has a golden chance to attract a new wave of foreign investment, especially to economic zones and industrial parks.
Annual foreign direct investment poured into industrial parks and economic zones is making up to 40% of the total FDI capital inflows. The rate reaches even 80% in the processing and manufacturing industry. Vietnam is currently home to 403 industrial parks and 44 economic zones, which have become key magnets for domestic and foreign investments. Economists said to welcome more investment, industrial parks and economic zones need not only good infrastructure and excellent services, but also assistance for investors. To do that, they in turn also need support from the government. Besides, the economy is bouncing back quickly after the COVID-19 pandemic, with one of the fastest growth rates in the region, ensure major balances and curb inflation. Favorable conditions provided for industrial parks by the government will facilitate investors, and difficulties facing industrial parks could also directly or indirectly affect investors, experts noted.
State budget collection in the January-September period was estimated at nearly $56 billion, reaching 94% of the yearly target and up 22% from the same time last year.
Accordingly, domestic collection accounted for nearly 89% of the yearly estimates, up about 90% year-on-year. 61 out of 63 provinces and cities have met over 75% of the targets in domestic collection, and 52 localities have collected higher tax revenues than the same period last year. However, the disbursement of investment in development in the 9-month period is still behind schedule at 46.7% of the plan. Only 7 ministries and 20 localities disbursed over half of the assigned investment capital, while 14 ministries and central agencies and 2 localities disbursed under 20%. Based on the budget revenues in the first 9 months of the year, experts forecasted that the economy should expand up to 7.5%, while export value would increase by 9.46% and import value by 10.5% year-on-year.
The use of domestic digital platforms in Vietnam recorded a year-on-year rise of 23.5% in August, with 494 million users.
According to data of the Ministry of Information and Communications, Vietnamese people spent more than 934 million hours on local platforms, making up nearly 14% of total time they spent on all digital platforms. On average, a smartphone user spent roughly 10 hours on Vietnamese digital platforms in August, up 11.4% from July and about 4.5% from January this year. 5 local platforms reported more than 10 million users monthly, namely Zalo with 75 million, followed by Zing MP3 with 23.6 million, Momo e-wallet 19.6 million. Digital platform users on mobile devices have been on the rise as the number of new app downloads hits about 312 million, surging 19% compared to that in July. With this momentum, Vietnam is projected to maintain the 7th place in the number of new app downloads globally.
Vietnam's real estate market plays an important role in maintaining macroeconomic stability, controlling inflation, and promoting growth, economists believe. The market accounts for some 4.5% of Vietnam's GDP, but in recent years has exhibited many limitations and failed to meet practicalness.
At the recent forum on removing legal bottlenecks in the real estate market, many in attendance believe that the current real estate market has a host of limitations. A scarcity of supply pushes up real estate prices substantially. The legal framework still has shortcomings and does not meet market demand, which greatly affects investment progress and project implementation.
The legal framework relating to real estate in Vietnam is not synchronized. Though authorities have amended it, there remain many overlaps. Enterprises often encounter difficulties in the application process as a result.
Social housing, one of the segments of most interest to society, also experiences many bottlenecks in development. In particular, many localities have not yet paid adequate attention to developing the segment.
I think the real estate market still follows the subsidy model, which hinders its development. The state does not have enough resources to develop it.
In order to remove bottlenecks facing the real estate market, many analysts believe it's necessary to adopt a better planning process. Another problem relates to the identification of different segments. Those such as condo towns and office towns must be identified in the land law, and then other laws such as the law on housing and the law on real estate business.
We must develop a real estate ecosystem, which means that when planning to build a condo tower or office tower, there must be accompanying services such as entertainment, medical centers, and education facilities.
According to analysts, in order for Vietnam's real estate market to develop stably, is the need to complete a legal procedures and identify specific real estate segments. Besides, developing a market-oriented social housing and capital and money market structure needs to be more reasonable.
Total fishery output in the first 9 months of this year is estimated at 6.75 million tons, up 2.7% from the same time last year, according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development.
The output comprises 3.87 million tons of aquaculture, up 7%, and 2.88 million tons from fishing, down 2.5%. Fishery export revenue is likely to reach $10 billion this year, the ministry said. The U.S. continued to be the largest export market of Vietnam in the period, with revenue of nearly $9.6 billion, followed by China with about $6.5 billion and Japan with over $2.7 billion. The ministry said that it is working with Vietnamese agencies at home and abroad to expand export markets for Vietnamese aquatic products, while effectively implementing bilateral and multilateral free trade agreements that Vietnam has signed, and supporting people and businesses to meet export requirements for their products.
Though night tours to relic and heritage sites are becoming increasingly common, they are still considered a new concept compared to regular day tours.
In Hanoi, two offerings to receive major attention in recent times are night tours to the Thăng Long Imperial Citadel and to Hoa Lo Prison. On the Decoding the Imperial Citadel of Thăng Long tour, visitors have the chance to walk through the ancient royal space, offer incense to commemorate the 52 ancestors at King Thien Palace, and learn about Hanoi's history to antiques unearthed under the site. At Hoa Lo Prison, meanwhile, the Sacred Night to Live Like Flowers tour allows visitors to learn about Vietnam's heroic history, with plays staged depicting the strong spirit of revolutionary soldiers and especially female prisoners.
As a night experience, visitors are not affected by external sights and sounds and can experience true emotions. I couldn't control my emotions. The play was very touching. I really admire the soldiers' courage. Tours to Thăng Long Imperial Citadel show visitors artifacts, relics, or just bricks and stones stuck on top of each other. Seeing such images at night helps to raise the cultural value of the site, and the illuminated archaeological artifacts are much more beautiful.
Night tours to Thăng Long Imperial Citadel and Hoa Lo Prison have received a warm response from local and foreign visitors. Following on from the success of these 9 tours, other relic sites in Hanoi such as Ngọc Sơn Temple and the Temple of Literature Quốc Tử Giám have been planning to expand their evening activities. Indeed, there will soon be a night tour of the Temple of Literature Quốc Tử Giám to stimulate tourism development in parallel with preserving and promoting Hanoi's traditional cultural values.
In the 30 years since the complex of Huế Monuments was honored as a World Cultural Heritage by UNESCO in 1993, the Huế Monuments Conservation Center has boasted many important achievements in restoration work and promoted attractive tourism products, becoming a destination not to be missed on a holiday to Vietnam. With a history of more than 200 years, Thái Hòa Palace, or the Palace of Supreme Harmony, is the most important venue in the Huế Imperial Citadel. The Huế Monuments Conservation Center is currently implementing a project preserving and restoring palace relics at the site under a scientific and methodical process. Cẩn Chánh Palace, complex of place of audiences, and Đại Cung Môn Palace will also be restored shortly to return the appearance of the Imperial Citadel to its former glory.
We have developed an elaborate research process combined with nearly 30 years of experience in conservation. We have also identified solutions in conservation, restoration, and embellishment.
Many policies have been introduced in recent years to find resources for preserving and promoting the heritage value of the complex of Huế monuments. Nearly 200 works and items have been restored and embellished. The locality has also relocated thousands of households to protect the monuments.
Inscribed now for 30 years on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and I think this was a huge success because it attracted a lot of visitors, and it also attracted a lot of support, financial support from other countries like Japan, France, Germany, Korea, but also expert support.
The Huế Monuments Conservation Center is developing a plan to preserve and promote the value of the complex of Huế monuments to 2030, with a vision to 2045, turning Thừa Thiên Huế province into a unique heritage area and a major cultural and tourist center in Vietnam and the region.
We need to promote and maximize the specific advantages and potential of the complex of Huế monuments.
In recent times, many ceremonial activities from the old Nguyen dynasty have been vividly reenacted to attract visitors, such as the changing of the guard ceremony and the Truyền Lò ceremony, honoring the ancestors, among others. The Imperial City Night Street, which is open on weekends, has also helped the complex become more attractive for both local and foreign tourists. And that has wrapped up the news bulletin. Thanks for watching and see you next time.